What's going on? What are all these meetings about? Are we looking towards a coalition or a merger?
Okay, basically 5 things. Nigeria is in dire need of rescue. There's no doubt. It's clear and everybody can see that. 2, the level of poverty is so high, especially in the northern part. 3, democracy has been deliberately put in danger by this government. 4, the level of decay in the system is so alarming that some have even lost complete hope. When you look at the issue of economy of the country, it's so much left to be desired. There was a shop we used to barb our head some couple of weeks ago. That's closed up because there's no business. And this is in Abuja. And when you look at the man, Peter Obi, he has always been interested in these areas of needs of the Nigerian people. In fact, sometimes the nomadic nature of the man scares me. Sometimes you see him in Cambridge, you see him in Akwa Ibom, you see him in Maiduguri, you see him in Zamfara, where the killing is so huge, and he traveled by roads. Those are the things of concern to His Excellency Peter Obi. And he said, look, let's hit the road. Apart from flying from one part of the country, let's go even through the roads. And you are all witness to what happened to him on his way to Benue State, just for him to visit the IDP camps, to see the people in their dire needs. And of course, the governor was scared to receive such a person, refused him entry. He has to even turn back. To a point I always ask him, His Excellency, all of this danger that we face, he said, well, you can't run away because the people need you. And you must be there for the people. That's why he's always there. And that is the crux of the matter. Of synergizing with the people. Not left, right, and center. South, east, west. Meet with the people. Speak to them in the language that they will understand. That this is about rescuing Nigeria. This is about putting food on the table for the Nigerian people. Connect with the Nigerian youth irrespective of where they reside. Recently, His Excellency just did a program of entrepreneurship, trying to help the younger ones, donating money into it. Now, meeting the northern youth, northern leaders, is like, look, gentlemen, this country needs help. How do we connect with each other? And I must say here, there's been a tremendous relationship between His Excellency Peter Obi and the northern part of this country. That is a connect that is needed. So what you are seeing is a coming together of Nigerians thinking alike, trying to find solution to the problems of the country, and said, look, how do we get Nigerians out of this wood? That is the crux of the matter.
Okay, beautiful. Quite a lot has been said, which has to do with the governance aspect of it. And we would have time to talk about the governance aspect of it based on some of the things you said, because you must win an election before you effect a change. So that's why I asked, what exactly is all this about? The kind of people he's been having meetings with, good enough. Some say it's a good move to have a close relationship with the North. The numbers are there. What exactly is in it for Mr. Obi? And some of his followers have said, president or nothing. Is it early to ask you what conversation he's having with regard to whether he's taking the vice presidential position or candidate offer or the president?
Let me make a clarification. The coalition, yes, Mr. Peter Obi, is a coalition discussion with like minds who are interested in rescuing Nigeria from the earlier points I enumerated. Okay? But you could see clearly, this is not coalition of political party yet. These are coalition of individual candidates who believe that Nigeria needs to be rescued. So until you connect with each other, and understand the basics of why me and you are discussing, then we will talk further. At the moment, a lot of understanding is being established as regard to the point of what we need Nigeria to be, not what it is at the moment. That is the most important thing. Mr. Peter Obi kinds of politics is about the people. It was amazing yesterday while we just left each other. He was in Lagos. He called and he was trying to find out that how can you talk about tax when the people are in time poverty? How can you put an electricity tariff? And he was talking on top of his voice. You can feel the pain in him. That's supposed to be the most important thing at everybody's mind at the moment, because without the people, there is no politicking.
Well, I've also followed conversation from the people, most of which are the Obidient Movements. And I know that in the build-up to the 2023 elections, the Obidient Movement were sort of a pressure force to make sure that Mr. Obi left the PDP to a new party, the Labour Party at the time, just so that he could be a man on his own and not associate with persons they consider to be the problem of the country. Those are the kind of people he's meeting with now. And so some are raising concerns as to what man says that I want a new path for Nigeria based on my ideology and my clean record, so to speak, without associating with people who are with like minds with regard to the state of the country and who have put the country where the country is today.
See, the politics of Mr. Peter Obi is quite distinct. It's not the conventional way of politics that people think. Have you ever seen Mr. Peter Obi abusing anybody? He doesn't even call names. He deals with the issue. He's an issue-based kind of politician. And he never engaged anything about violence. And that's what makes him different and distinct. He has been able to connect with the Nigerian youth who are in full demand. They are not requesting. They are demanding for good governance. And so we call anybody who is demanding for good governance in Nigeria as an obedient. And that is the message and the principles of Peter Obi, and that is what is selling to the Nigerian youth, and they bought into it. And now what they are asking, which is very much in line with his own principle, is that, look, we want you to help us champion that particular cause and give us good governance as you preach. So in the process of trying to reach out to people, sometimes you may meet somebody who does not even believe in you, like a case in what happened in a coffee shop where Mr. Peter Obi met the Nigerian youth just recently in Abuja. And he said, I don't like staying where I've always been hailed. You must bring out some bad things about me so that I will improve on it to make me better and to deliver the people. That is a sound mind speaking. It is not everybody that speak in that direction. And they are in the hall. Simply, the people, the young boys and girls identify Obinna, now becoming popular in the social media, that, look, the guy has been criticizing Peter Obi, and Peter Obi said, hey, young man, I want to hear your criticisms. How many of our leaders as of today does that?
Let me ask you a question. How do you respond to those who wonder what sort of change Mr. Obi could bring to Nigeria by having conversations with people he chose not to associate himself with because of the state of the country, who have led this country over time and have sort of failed this country?
Who would have thought that the messages of Peter Obi will have resonated with the Nigerian youth today? Nobody. Because at the point in time, they were more interested in music and all of that. Even those older ones who did not even want to associate themselves with him, many did not want to associate themselves with him. In fact, when they see him, they run. But today, he's one of the most requested politicians in Nigeria, just like you said, because he's been able to take care of the negative thinking of those particular persons and return it into a positive energy. And that is what we should be able to do. And that's what he has been able to do as a person. With all due respect, what is the correctional center for? When you arrest a criminal and put him in the correctional center, what are you hoping for? You are hoping that probably in the prison he will change and then become a better person. Really so? So now, many of the people that have done a lot of wrongs think differently, because an alternative message has been sent to you by a single person, and that particular message makes sense to you, and so you are thinking that, okay, why don't I try this particular energy and turn the country around? And that does not stop you from becoming a rich person. Instead of you engaging into criminal tendency and stealing the country to a point of stupor. Peter Obi led the government of Anambra, and he didn't have a huge dining table where people come in every now and then to come and do buffet. He has only 4 chairs and 4 tables. And when you come in to spend your time with him, you exchange presents. Of course, he will offer you normal things that's supposed to be offered. But you don't expect this kind of over-bloated kind of thing that happens, because the money is needed somewhere. And he applied this money somewhere, and then for a benefit of the people. That is the kind of politician we need. That kind of a person. And that is the reason why if you showcase this kind of attitude, people are willing to learn and people are willing to change. So talking to some other persons who may not have been doing the right thing before, now they want to turn into a leader, it's a plus, not to him alone, but to the Nigerian people. So he always say, Tanko, everybody is important. Even a madman is important. Reach out, communicate with them, speak with them in a language that they can understand, turn around their psyche and make them believe in Nigeria and make productive use of whatever opportunity they have for the people.
All right, Dr. Tanko, this suggests that Mr. Obi has plans with regard to how he wants to lead the country. So it makes me ask you this question. Is Peter Obi open to a vice presidential offer?
We are not even talking about a vice president position.
So he's not open to being a vice president?
We are not talking about vice president position. Ours is to tell Nigerians that you have a product that can turn around the fate of Nigeria.
As a president?
Yes, as a president.
So, I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, as a president.
This whole conversation has nothing to do with the option of a vice presidential candidate.
No, I just enumerated to you why those particular conversations took place.
You know, I'm saying
the country.
I'm saying because whether you like it or not, I've followed conversations from Obidient as well, and they have repeatedly said that if the offer is for vice president, Peter Obi should not take it. So I'm asking you now, do you align with that?
Of course, because I am leading the Obidient Movement, and that is the demand of the Nigerian people. So when we get to that particular bridge of saying that, look at the statistics, look at the optics, look at the balance sheets, and look at what this particular position will tend for us. One, it unites the country, bring in the youths which have been neglected for very, very long time, who are now ready to come into politicking. What about the changes of the innovations that he puts in as a presidential, governor of Anambra? The narrative that he has changed for 8 good years, for God's sake. Nobody had an armed robbery case against Peter Obi in that state. There was none. And people are still, you can go and compare. Apart from the fact that he left money into the cover. These are things that we are not used to hearing or seeing. But it really did happen. With one single person. Paying pension and gratuity with nobody owing him anything. Making sure that there's industries and building roads that connect every local government together. Some even went ahead and started blackmailing and said probably there was no local government in it, but there was. So in every area of facet of our daily lives, the basic fundamental that is required, Peter Obi met that particular score sheet. So if you have such a person, why would you shop for another?
On the issue of local governments, maybe you want to clarify.
Yes.
Because during his time as governor, he ran the state at some point with interim administrators at local government level, and had a fallout with the APGA at the time, which wanted local governments because they needed them to build structures for the election. So you might want to clarify.
At the period, yes. But at the end of this particular period of tenure, he had the local government election. I was not told, I saw it. So I wanted to verify, just like as you are asking me. So that particular local government election took place. You can verify. It's not something that you Google it right now, you will see there was local government elections. And yes, of course, in politics there's always ups and downs and all. But once you can be able to navigate the system and get it done, I mean, it's just up.
You are coordinating the Obidient Movement.
Yes.
Now, and some fear that movement is not as alive as it used to be. I know that at a symposium last year, you had said something about restructuring the Obidient Movement to give it more life. Could you clarify what you meant by that and the extent to which that has been done?
After the 2023 general elections, of course, a lot of Obidient felt that's supposed to be a kind of a full demonstration and going onto the streets fighting for the mandates, and that politics in Nigeria require visibility and all of the physical battle. And then, of course, it is not the style of Mr. Peter Obi. He sends his message in a different light and yet very, very effective. So at that point, there was a slowdown in terms of activities of the people. So when I was named last year in September to lead, because that the Obidient Movement is just moving amorphously. And then if we are not careful, it will go into an extinction. So why he now agreed that, look, the best thing is that let's get it together. Let's get it organized in a formal way. And so that way we will be able to get our people together and reinvoke their will. Okay, some of course are still not really still angered with some such a situation, and they want a more forceful way. And some are of the opinion that the youth need to be more energized and electrifying like it used to be. But it takes time. Once you have an issue of that nature, you take time to rebuild. And that is what we are rebuilding. At the moment, we've had series of building. We are even coasting down because already we've had the National Coordinating Council in place. We've had the directorate already in place and up and running. We've had series of advocacy in each of the zones except for South and North Central. We've had individual pockets of states too also meeting each other. Recently, we've concluded with building 25 states of the Federation already up and running. Now, we also have launched our registration portal, which was not there before. And now we have registration going on. Every now and then people are registering. So we want to know our numbers. We want to warehouse ourselves. You agree with me, no matter how electrifying we were at that time in 2023, we were not able to cover some polling units. But this time around, we've now had areas that were not even reached out to before, now existing. I'm talking about places like Yobe, Sokoto, Kebbi State, Borno, Jigawa. I'm talking about Kano State, and all these northern states amazingly now have physical presence of Obidient, not on Twitter, not on Facebook. They are alive, not one-on-one. And as we move along, there will be teething problems. So we continue to evolve and correct some of those particular ills. But the major task ahead of us is to ensure that every nook and cranny of the Federation of Nigeria, Peter Obi has connected with them, and he has already been able to do an excellent job of getting the people who were not there before, now they are alive. Let us just be humble in terms of our area of coverage. There is no politician today, quote me, there's no politician today that can tell you that he can give you a block vote of a region, apart from Peter Obi. There's none.
What region are you talking about?
About Southeast, which of course Ebonyi falls into. Anambra, Imo states, Abia states,
Imo State.
All of the 5 states. All of the 5 states in the state. You can be sure that Peter Obi vote, if election take place today, would be a block vote for him. There is no single politician in Nigeria that can deliver that, including the Mr. President as of today.
So you think that the entire Southeast will vote for Mr. Peter Obi in 2027?
They can continue trying, but they cannot get it.
So that brings me to the people of the North.
Yes.
Because now the conversation has extended to the North.
Yes.
Why did the North not vote for Obi lasts in 2023? And why do you think the North will vote this time?
They did. Maybe not commensurate to the level of expectancy. I'm from the North. I voted for Peter Obi, and quite a number of people believe
I know
the mark numbers that was enough for me, and we have a target. As I just told you, can you believe for the first time, because of one single person, Peter Obi, we held Twitter space in Hausa language? In Hausa language. It has never been done. On 2 occasions, even in those particular, people are speaking, young boys and girls of northern extraction are the one championing. You can Google it, it's verifiable.
I thought they said politics is local. So when you're dealing with Twitter for the North, which we know doesn't have a high Twitter population, is that politics enough for you?
Good. The question you want to ask yourself is that it is dominant in the South at a point. It's a wearing house. People meet and speak their minds freely. And we have already now have physical presence of those particular persons. In Lagos, we just had a program. Peter Obi was not at that particular program, but the hall was filled to capacity. People who usually speak to themselves from different, they don't even know each other, but they met in Lagos until the Southwest entirely met, and they met the same way too in Kano. They met that way in Gombe. They met the same way in Onitsha, and they will be meeting possibly in a different way in Port Harcourt or Bayelsa State, and probably in the North Central. The issue there is that at a point in time, you may just like you said, maybe 0.5% of people who are interested. They don't do Twitter, they only do TikTok, and then they just do dancing and all of that. But this has changed. Now you're talking reality now. People are talking about Electoral Act. People are talking about how they will transform their economic well-being in the northern part. These are young persons who are not interested in those particular narratives before, but now they are interested in doing it because of one person, and that's Peter Obi.
Why?
Because they know that the dynamics has to change. He went to areas where people do not have pipe-borne water. He provided them with boreholes. They are up and running up to tomorrow. That is care for the people at the grassroots, and that is connecting with them. On a daily basis, he talks about, look, there was a fire outbreak in Zamfara State. Zamfara State is being adorned to be one of the most dangerous parts of this country at this particular point in time. Say, go there. Go and commiserate with the people. See where we can give aid and support to them. And we did. He sent money to those particular persons. How many of our people go to? They only like to go to a fun fair where they will put on their barbaric and but then care for the people. But Peter does. That's what difference he has with the people. I'm speaking this because in my, how many years in politics? Over 40. You know me, I've been in this for a very long time. I was in secondary school from 3 that I joined Ghanaian Army's political party. From 3. At my young age. Some still can find me as a very young person. I'm still in it. But on the opposition quest for a good governance. And I have never, Ghani did wonderfully well. No, I'm a product of Ghani and Balada Musa and Otto Wanko. So you can see the lineage in which I come from. And so he has been able to connect with that kind of ideological political system. Getting closer to the people because those are the people you want to help. In his life now, at the moment now, he said, Tanko, I don't need anything from anybody. God has blessed me. But then in that case, what about the blessing of God? How have I been able to put it to judicious use? And that is exactly what he's doing. Making sure that he puts this food on the table of Nigeria within his capable means. And then also sending the message, let's turn around the economy of this country from consumption to production. And you look at the arable land of the northern part of this country and say, look, this is money on ground that can double what we are gaining from oil. Let's transform it into life. And that is exactly some of the things that he can do differently. Do you know from his own calculation, as he mentioned yesterday at the gathering, he said Netherlands is not up to Niger State. Netherlands. And they are producing more than what we make from oil. Just one landmark in Nigeria. So you can imagine if Niger State can be turned into a hub, agricultural hub. You can imagine Maiduguri with that kind of huge land. You can imagine Kano State, Zamfara State. You can imagine Kaduna. Not talk about the ones in the south. No, not at all. Just talk about the lands in the north. So what we will be making as a country will be unbelievable income, and that way it will have taken care of simply our insecurity.
Just as we wrap up this conversation, with regard to the politics of things, it almost suggests now that as far as the Labour Party is concerned, it is only Mr. Peter Obi's ambition that is priority. I say that because you are losing members every day, just about every week to be specific, in the National Assembly. Every week. How do you intend to win? What this means is that the chances of other members of your party are getting thinner by the day as your political strength depletes.
That brings us the issue of one of the 5 points I raised with you, the danger in a democracy. The Electoral Act, and of course Mr. Peter Obi has made it clear, we are not mixing words. This particular government is involved in the problems that we are facing in most of the political parties. And unfortunately also, they had an enabler, the Electoral Act. Because the Electoral Act was actually clear, but it was not enforced. That you cannot trade somebody's manifesto for another manifesto and still contain that particular chair. It's totally unacceptable. Ethically wrong. Completely ethically wrong. But we have it in Nigeria, and that is because there are intimidation, coercion, and probably, stick and carrot approach. You must join us, otherwise we will do this. So that's why you are saying many of the people who we are seeing joining the APC are not joining themselves on their own personal will. And I want to commend those who have remained resolute and determined to remain.
But your members are also joining the PDP.
And that's what I'm saying.
Are they being coerced to join the PDP as well?
Everybody, because probably that is where we need adjustment in the Electoral Act. I mentioned it earlier. You see, the Electoral Act needs to give us a proportional representation, where funds that are supposed to be allocated to each of the political parties remain with the political party, those who are in position in the National Assembly. That way, everybody will feel the security that it's looking for. Many people want to go to a place where they feel there is a certain security. I agree that we have an internal issue within the party. There's no doubt about it.
But that is a caveat that the Constitution provides for
and that is where it is faulty. It is faulty. It is meant because people want to use it as an alternative or probably an exit way. You cannot, Terry, look at me. Me and you contest on the same political party. We won. And we sent to the people that this is ABC, what we are going to do based on our manifesto. Then because already we've won and then we just trade it in and go back to political party C, do we have a right to sit on that particular seat? Obviously no. If we want and we're popular, we'll go back to the people. We seek for election. That look, gentlemen, I saw that the manifesto of political party A and B was not favorable and is not delivering to you what I promised you. So therefore, I want to change to political party C. So I left my seat and I'm telling myself, vote for me so that I can bring the manifesto of political party C to you. That is what is expected to be done. And the electoral and constitution also provide that. But because of the manipulation tendency in our system, they don't want to declare that particular seat vacant. And they feel it's an advantage to them, which is a very big mistake, because it's just implosion waiting in the process. It will happen. We've seen it happen before.
The concerns around other levels of election within your party are huge.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, people rode, as it stood at the time, people rode on Mr. Peter Obi.
Exactly.
To get to where they are. Now, they don't think that the people who rode on him to get to where they are have left or are leaving and going to perhaps a role in All Progressive Congress, or if their state is a PDP state, they're going to the PDP and all that. So that brings the question of what grassroots mobilization do you have as you prepare for the next election? If the negotiation, or if your strength of negotiation is Mr. Obi, what happens to the Labour Party in the end?
Well, a party is a party. It will always find its way to survive as a party. As far as we are concerned, is to ensure that we get closer to the people on the grassroots. We have shifted our mobilization from the Twitter space. We have shifted it to physical humans. I just told you now that we are even doing a membership card, which is digital, and everybody that is obedient and believe in it is easy. You can easily tweet it right now. In the 5 minutes, you are already registered. You don't need me to be there to register. Just click on the net, and then you are already a registered member of the movement. It's so simple.